Previous season, I'm one of the players. Most minutes played at Man City. But no AI likes to be excluded from important matches. We all want to contribute to the team. It's no longer a rumor. These are the words shared. Express dissatisfaction with the training. And from Manchester City. The future of small spiders. It's a hot topic. It takes a lot of press. And with many of the latest variables, inactivation is very likely. After the 2012 Olympics. Time of training Everest. End your journey with the team. I will go back to the club. Stay at Man City next season. The truth is getting clearer. The Argentine striker, they can only be satisfied with their status. Stunt for Alan Holland. Man City is ready. Sell former striker of River Plus. And the price they're offering is no less than 70 million euros. Soon after sharing the possibility of Everest's departure. Pep Guardiola has the answer. Through the coach's statement. The Spanish. It is understood implicitly that what will happen in this deal. I've seen information that he's thinking about leaving. Let's think about it. Then Everest will notify us. Know what he wants. Everest played a lot. She wants more. It doesn't matter, so think about it. Julian Alvarez longing for closure. To be more keystone. Man City did not force him to stay. And there's a lot of teams willing to pay the red carpet to bring the Argentine striker back. That's what we need to know. Reality. As early as a week ago, there were some sources that said Pep Guardiola is angry. Rules for attending the Olympics of Andres Moore. A tournament that is not part of the FIFA system. So clubs have the right to refuse to release people. Before the drag of the Argentina Olympic team coach. HVE Master. Man City and Guardiola. I said no to Everest. But I've been myself for 24 years. I want to compete in the Paris Olympics. Regulation of small spiders. It affected the work. Man City's new season. Especially the Super Cup match. United on August 10th. The end for the unsatisfied players. Surely AI has been clear lately. Especially in the case of rich casinos. Julian Amazon, of course. Not to the point of turning back your teacher. But we need to look at the situation right now. The Spiders' future is getting complicated. Well, not at the club. But to make a statement like that in the media, I'm afraid it's hard for you to be alone. Or maybe Everest is desperate to leave. Be ready to take advantage of the media to speak your heart out. In a lot of public sharing. The Diola fan trail also claims that if AI in Man City, I want to leave. You will not stop it. Alexander Janenko is such a case. They also want to move to new teams, to be more on the field. I will take time to think about what I want. For myself, I'll think about the future after the Olympics. Everest said. In an interview before the final series of group games, men's football. In the previous season, actually saw a leap forward. About Everest's timeout. During the time that Bruin left the pitch. With severe trauma, Everest is the main rock of perfect Ella. To replace for the German midfielder. The Argentine star. It was then arranged by Guardiola. It's in the hallway on the right. Encouraging infiltration of the penalty area. And there's a lot of ground to shine on. Results. That's constantly being created by Everest. The 24-year-old was so good. Many people think that it's time for Hogler. Let's give the stage to the Argentinian. However, since the time the Bruin returned, all of a sudden it's back there. Everest from the main rock. Get back to the game immediately. And let's remember what really happened. The Argentine striker. They were not used in the AFF Cup final. And the final rounds. It's about winning the Premier League. This is one of the reasons made Everest express his discontent. Is a talented player who's in a position? The little spider's ambition to be the keystone is understandable, but with Ted in his hands, he's always the ultimate Sao ensemble. Oh, and Red would be a great fit. But if there is no Clove. Also, it didn't take long to find another option. To a Man City player, but the mind was no longer for the team. Willing to discard that person without forcing it. Except in the case of Beneduva. The rest of us have a common ending. Is no longer present in Herald. Sportivo News. There are 3 clubs standing at the door of the field. Amazon's life is Atletico Madrid, Chelsea, and Arsenal. Let's first consider the Spanish club. It's considered a priority destination for Everest. According to Man City sources, Little Spider and his family, I don't like the wet weather in Manchester. They want to move to a place with warmer sun. Magic is on the Mediterranean coast. It's a very ideal place. At Atletico Alvarez have a chance. Reunited with many teammates at the national team, like the Pog or Molina. With compatriots on the training bench, Simeone Diago, Everest. It's supposed to feel much better. Compared to Man City. About the ability to fit in with the play, Julian Alvarez will be seen. Is the successor to Alpha Cressman at Wanda Metropolitano? The French striker is 33 years old this year, and currently there is information about moving to the US to compete, sooner or later. We also need to find a long-term alternative. If you have Amazon, Atletico won't have to worry too much about the void that Alpha Chris left behind, the Spider, Tiny, and Little Prince, the most explosive version. They all have very similar ways of playing when they're all very active striker models. They will feel most comfortable when playing next to a high center to make a wall. The time when Everest played best, at the beginning of last season, is when you're all used in that role. Helen was the one who abused the wall, sucking people to reveal the gaps. Let the Argentine striker penetrate and take advantage. Besides the ability to finish very sharply, Everest also shows strong links, play moves, and coordinate flexibly with surrounding satellites. That's correct. These are missions that Antigressa has taken over the years. In Antico Madrid. In the game, priority for Simeone's defensive front. Responsibility to attack. It's usually given to a few individuals. Especially important. That's when the theater's going to open up big for the Amazon. If you land in Metropolitano. As for the duo, it's from the law. After 2 consecutive second place in the Premier League, Arsenal are actively strengthening their forces and quality recruits. Mike Natata and EDU sports director booking. Hoping to create a framework they can compete with Man City and avenge for 2 painful debts. To replenish steel or defense, William Everest is the target, so they can upgrade their public goods. Meanwhile, Chelsea ready to jump into the race. With the same team, City, in the process of purging the powerful squad, Topoli president will continue to bring back Staffus Brush. Quality recruits. In the spearhead position, Nicole Jackson has been placed under suspicion. And then Julian Alvarez is a dream replacement. Recent concessions. Chelsea and Arsenal. They all have certain successes. From the old Man City guys. That's Gabrin Jejet. Jin Chonko to the Emirates. Or Kosho off arrived at Stamford Bridge. Euro 70 million has been put on the table by Man City. In the context that Everest is a talented striker. Only 24 years old. Ever won the World Cup. Then that price, it is very favorable and attractive for the pursuit teams. There were expectations about Guardiola will turn Everest into a terrifying monster at Etihad. But maybe Everest feels that this is the right time. But the wrong time. Maybe that day will just happen. If Erling Haaland is no longer present at the Etihad. That's why Everest broke up with Man City. Maybe it's getting closer to